If you thought your energy expenses were high now, just wait until I show you this. Look, we are experiencing a big shift, one unlike anything we've ever seen before. Governments are spending trillions of dollars to change the way that we use our energy. And I'm going to show you how that impacts you directly. In this video, I'm going to go through all these different examples and show you what's happening. It is extremely important to realize this because it doesn't affect just one person, just one city or state or country. It affects everybody because they're basically all doing this. And I'm going to show you what I mean. Let's dig in. You came here for the truth, so let me unveil that for you. White House looking to hire energy efficiency contractors. Look at the first thing that I highlighted there. Billions of dollars worth of projects await completion. You might think this is a fraud. You might hate this, but they're spending billions in this one case here. The government is giving money to these contractors. You could be part of that. You might not be benefiting from it, but I'm telling you right now that they are spending a lot of taxpayer dollars to shift into these different forms of energy. You look down the road, down the horizon, and what do you see? You look at this, and I mean, it's pretty clear why we didn't see a pickup in, the output from, U.S. oil. That really didn't happen so much. They didn't want to do more fracking, it looks like. They didn't want to start digging, these wells and things and make that happen to take advantage of this rush that was taking place as the prices remained relatively high. That didn't happen. It's because in order to do that, there's a lot of expense there. It takes a lot of time. They have to hire people, all these different things. And if they're thinking to themselves that, look, if it's going to take 5 years to make this operational and profitable, are we going to be around or at least at that capacity 5 years from now? Maybe they'll say, no, we don't need that. So maybe we'll let it ride and we'll kind of wait it out. Well, that seems to be the case for a lot of them. Now, they're going towards these different energy systems, whether it is solar, whether it is wind. They're doing this. And I'm going to show you some examples, okay? Don't go anywhere. And it's all the way, not just what you've seen in the United States or maybe even Europe. It's in India. I'll show you what's going on, okay? But understand, whether you like it, whether you don't like it, you think it's a fraud or you don't, look, all of this is happening right before our very eyes. Here we have it. Look at this. Knowing when to sell is a common dilemma among family-owned businesses. You got this 106-year-old German heat pump maker looking like an odd move given its technology is in demand and at the forefront of the energy transition race. You got a $12 billion sale of its business to Carrier. You might know Carrier, that company, and you can see that there's a lot of stuff happening. There's mergers and acquisitions taking place today, and you see it certainly in this case here. These companies, they want to take advantage of the circumstance. Number of UK homes installing rooftop solar panels is the highest in over 7 years. I'm not so sure this is the best place for solar panels, to be honest with you. But I don't have the stats on that. I just think it's probably better to have it in California, maybe. But anyway, that's what's happening even in the UK. Now, the number is still small. It's 50,000 households in the first quarter of 23. I think that's a lot when you kind of consider the location. But anyway, we'll see how it goes. Minnesota legislation aims to boost speed and scale of green financing. So you got to understand what's happening here. Government incentives, tax rebates. You get this happening at the same time saying, okay, we're going to make it easier to get that funding to do all of this. They're doing everything they can to pour not just billions, but globally trillions of dollars into these different initiatives. As an investor, you got to keep your eyes peeled. You got to keep your ears open and listen for all this type of information. It is very clear. At the same time, you could potentially take advantage of this in other ways too, okay? So it depends on your circumstances, what you're trying to achieve and so on, but you can be lowering your energy bills because you insulated your attic, for instance. You do that, the government gives you an incentive, they give you that cash back. You fix your windows, you upgrade to new windows, you had really old windows, get the new one, they give you a tax incentive. Like all these different things that are there that you can actually employ right now. It's up to you to do that, and it depends on your circumstances, okay? Google using New Tennessee solar farm to power facilities, including its data center. I'd like to see this and see if it can go on, because data centers are extremely energy intensive, particularly the ones that are in hot climates, all right? What about this? The administration has opted against granting a permit for transporting liquefied natural gas, LNG, from Pennsylvania to New Jersey via railroad. Okay, they are not making it easy. Let me tell you, prior to the denial, the project to transport LNG for foreign export was already halted for legal settlement, external litigants. Anyway, there's lots of problems happening here. If you want to do a solar panel thing, if you want to do, something that they consider to be eco-friendly and green, it seems like, hey, green light, no pun intended, I guess. But if you want to do anything related to oil and gas, not so fun. It's probably not the best business right now, although we've seen during 2020 there was an uptick in basically all types of energy usage. Okay, then we have this. CenterPoint Energy continues shift from coal-fired generation. Renewables complemented with natural gas fire generation forge ahead as generation portfolio. You look at it, coal, Obama literally said, you can do coal, we're just going to bankrupt you. Okay, so they're making it difficult, but what happened during this period? The amount of available mines just kept declining, and the usage and the demand just kept going up and up, so the price was crazy. It's going on in the United States, also in China, okay? European leaders commit to more wind energy production. This is it, you got to know it. It might be bad, it might be doing some damage in some cases. They're going to continue to spend on it. G7 agrees to accelerate phase out of unabated fossil fuels. I'm not sure why they threw that word in there. What you need to know about the global energy transition. They explained it all. This is our friends at the World Economic Forum. They're so nice and gentle. And they're basically just saying, hey, they are going to do this. They're going to phase them out. US goes big on DAC and carbon removal push. Chile to nationalize their lithium industry. They're going through with this. Lithium has its own issues. You've probably seen a lot of these videos of cobalt and all these very, they call it green and they say they're doing all these things, emissions and stuff, but they don't talk about the mining of it all. So a lot of that is not so nice from what I've seen. WSU, that's Washington State University, received millions for clean energy project. If you're going to do something clean and green, they're going to give you money. They're going to pour that cash out there. That's my whole point of this video. In a quest to set a new standard in data center emissions transparency, Redivider has selected NZero's carbon management platform for its upcoming zero-emission edge data centers. What am I talking about here? What is this? What the heck is this, right? Imagine this. Real-time carbon management and accounting platform that tracks and operationalizes emissions data to help organizations reach their carbon reduction goals. Every bit of carbon that you emit, that your business emits, the stores you go to, the manufacturers, the producers, the transport, it will all be tracked. Each little bit of it. And you're going to have an allotment, an allowance. The businesses that you deal with will have the same. Now, there's going to be a way around. There's going to be a loophole. So you don't have to worry, except you have to pay for it. You will have to pay an additional tax, your polluting tax. And if you're Billy G, if you're one of these, 100 billion plus rich guys out there, you're fine. You could pay that tax. Not going to impact you. But if you're somebody who's struggling as it is, you're just not going to be able to do anything. You're going to have to only limit what you can eat to certain things. You're going to have to make choices, hard choices, that you don't want to make. And that's what this is all about. That's the truth. Or you could say it in a different way, where somebody is going to take advantage of this. These are the circumstances. We want clean energy. We don't want pollution that looks like, if you look at some of these cities around the world in India and China and other places, you can't even see. It's like this yellow-brown cloud that goes through. We don't want that, obviously. And so what do we want? We want to have healthy environments, healthy water, all these different things. So that could be the goal, right? Let's just say that's the goal. Let's make it clean and green. Everything's fantastic. But somebody's going to take advantage of that and make sure that they can track and database all of your carbon emissions. And they could make that happen, by the way, through the cashless society very easily. And so they take advantage and you get the short end of the stick as a result of that. Okay, quickly, just want to show you here. They're just talking about the Inflation Reduction Act. You remember that? Inflation Reduction Act? Yeah. Okay. The IRA, Inflation Reduction Act, $374 billion. It's, $374 billion in credits and incentives for carbon-free development makes it the country's largest climate investment ever. Okay, the IRA is somehow, I don't know how, but it's going to be cutting U.S. greenhouse gas emissions 37% to 41% from 2005 levels. That's what they want to do. They want to reduce their greenhouse gas emissions by 50% from 2005 levels by 2030. And they're going to do this through all these initiatives. But they're going to do so and reduce inflation. I'm not so sure that they figured the two out, but it's in the Inflation Reduction Act. Anyway, but that's the way it goes, okay? Let me just tell you right now, here. We can talk about this all along, but look at one example of India, and you see it for yourself. They're building solar panels. In fact, they're on their quest to build the world's largest solar farms. I don't know if they're going to be able to do that, but they're giving it a go, let me tell you. And this goes all around the world. So that's what I'm trying to say. No matter where you live, they're doing this. As an investor, you could take advantage. As an individual, you can see the tax advantages and rebates and things that are there for you. And I would just be aware of it and realize that the most likely thing is not inflation reduction, but inflation expansion. You're not going to be able to go the places you want to go and eat the foods you want to eat, and that's just the way it goes. And that's why, my friends, please understand the pillars of prosperity. I don't say this and mention it all the time. If you haven't watched that video, just take a few minutes, watch that video, watch it at 2x if you need to. I did it. It was a script that I had, and I just explained everything through there so I can make sure to keep it nice and short and detailed. Pillars of prosperity. Click this video, and I'll see you there.